What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an Arsenal inventory update to do for you guys. Tapes this time, and I have a nice, nasty stack of black and death metal goodness to show you here today, including some Texas death metal classics put on tape for the first time. But first, what we're listening to in the background: Ectoplasma, Spitting Coffins. Yeah, this is their 2016 debut full-length, reissued through Crusader Productions. Probably one of the best Greek death metal bands going right now. I would highly recommend checking out this band's whole body of work. I'm glad that this first album is available again for everybody to hear and listen to. So yeah, go check out Ectoplasma. Alright, let's get nasty with this first tape we're going to talk about here. This is Basic Torture Procedure with Domination Through Torture. Yeah. This is a 2020 release through Savage Mutilations, and Basic Torture Procedure is a US-based gore grind band comprised of some people that have been incredibly busy within the calendar year of 2020. Of course, I'm referring to the mighty Zach Fogel, whom I, of course, mentioned earlier in the year with Metarasia, Morgtar, just a handful of really killer gore grind death metal-esque projects. Of course, the drummer for this band is also in Morgtar and did another project with Fogel called Shotgun Cock. And joining them to do vocals is Kyle from Couple Skate. Really, really killer Ohio-based gore grind band. And this pretty much is straight to the point, no-nonsense gore grind. Super over-the-top, pitch-shifted vocals, really great natural-sounding drums, killer riffs. It's just almost vomitous stuff to listen to. I mean, spaghetti wrist, 45 lashes of the gastrointestinal tract, dismembered bag compacted, stomach acid, facial corrosion, crash course in malpractice. Pretty over-the-top stuff. This is a really, really killer full-length album, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more from them in the future. I know that they just put out a new split not too long ago, which is really awesome too, but I would highly recommend checking out this band. This is the real deal. So anyway, here's the front cover, the J card, very awesome artwork, track listings and information, credits. You open the J card, you have this more really crazy collage artwork. And I should also mention, this is the US version of the tape. Comes on this really nice white pro tape. Side A, side B. The international version is on a red color scheme, but this is pretty damn cool as well. So yeah, check out Basic Torture Procedure with Domination Through Torture. Really top quality gore grind stuff. From gore grind, we move to bestial Black Death from Louisiana's Kings of the Style. This is Abysmal Lord with Cathedral. Yeah, this is a 2020 release through Serpent's Head Reprisal and Darkness Attacks Records. And, of course, I've talked about Abysmal Lord a bunch of times on this channel, so I don't need to tell you too much about them. They're from Louisiana. They are a very well-regarded, well-respected black death metal band. And I know they put out a really killer full-length album last year through Hell's Headbangers, and this is a nice little surprise to get from them in 2020 in the form of this really short and sweet and to-the-point EP. It starts off with an intro and then gets right on into the business of what you know Abysmal Lord best for. Really chaotic riffs, great drumming, audible bass, reverbed vocals, just some seriously over-the-top stuff here. Very simplistic song titles, narthex, choir, altar. I mean, it's pretty simplistic in delivery, but it still gets the job done. This is some seriously killer stuff, and Abysmal Lord are some of the best in the business right now. So, here's the front of the J card. Love this artwork. Very in tune with what you would expect from Abysmal Lord. Photo of the band member credits, lyrics and more artwork for all the songs. You fold out the J card and you have a nice little mini poster of the Cathedral artwork, which is really cool. It comes on a red pro tape with the stickers. Really, really nice job done here. So yeah, new Abysmal Lord EP is sick, and I look forward to hearing more great things from them later soon. So yeah, Abysmal Lord, Cathedral, go check this one out. These next two tapes are of the same artist, and this was sent to me by a label called Northern Blood Productions. And I'm pretty new to this project, but what I've heard from it, I really do enjoy it. This is Adherent with Tranquility. Yeah, this is originally released in 2016, and this is a 2020 repress through Northern Blood Records. And from what I know about Adherent, it is a one-person project based out of the US. And this demo feels like a really awesome, somewhat conceptual piece. It has your typical sorts of mixtures of raw black metal, but there's also a sense of atmospheric nature going on here. The main story of Tranquility is tracks 2 through 6. They're all called Tranquility, and it all feels like one big, long conceptual piece. But I think with each single track, you get more and more development and layers in terms of musical delivery and output. I definitely appreciate what's being done here with this release. I dig the vocals. I enjoy the musical balances going on here. There's also a Grand Belial's key cover, which is a nice little touch here. I think they did Kingdom of Poison Fruits. Really, really killer. But yeah, let me show you the J card here. Really digging the artwork, photography going on here. J card is limited to 100 copies. Mine is number 18 out of 100. Track listings, credits, and information. Like what it says at the top here, we are all in an endless search for tranquility. Consider this reissue of the demo to be the correct version as it was originally intended for release. Very nice job done here. And comes on this really nice lime green pro tape. Really dig the design on this thing. Did the slim thing in the middle of the tape. Really, really nice. But wait, there's more Adherent. Once again, this is Adherent with Introspection. Yeah, 2020 release through Northern Blood Productions, and this is a brand new release from Adherent. More of what you heard on the previous demo, but a lot more fluid, a lot more well-balanced this time around, a lot more energized, and a lot more cathartic. Attainment, the 2 of Muddled Mind tracks, Contemplation of Paths. I mean, just some really, really well done stuff here. A lot of the raw and atmospheric stuff you heard on the previous demo, you hear it here, but it's done a lot better, and I really had a great time listening to this particular demo. Hopefully there's more where that comes from. But anyway, here's the front of artwork of the J card. Really digging the artwork piece here. Track listing, credits, and information. Dig the photography again here. This project seems to have a knack for doing some really nice landscapes when it comes to overall photography and concepts here. But mine is number 29 out of 100. There's 100 copies of this thing. And this came on a super nice gold tape. Really, really top quality here. But yeah, Adherent is pretty damn good, and I would highly recommend you check them out. Can't do a tape of nasty, brutal death metal stuff without mentioning something from Lifeless Chasm. Of course, if you know Lifeless Chasm, they are consistently putting out really awesome death metal releases on tape, and I have one of those releases to talk about here. This is Malignancy with Intrauterine Cannibalism. Yeah. This was released in 2020 on tape through Lifeless Chasm and originally released on CD through Severed Records. And of course, if you know Malignancy, they're based out of New York. Very well-regarded, long-time technical brutal death metal band. Really one of the best in the business. And of course, in celebration of Intrauterine Cannibalism celebrating 20 years, I believe that the band in the current formation did a re-recording of Intrauterine Cannibalism. And for the most part, I think this re-recording took some getting used to, because I honestly think there was nothing wrong with the original version of Intrauterine Cannibalism. But if it's done for the sake of celebrating a milestone, I don't see why not, why they shouldn't do it. But for the most part, I think it's pretty solid. Of course, Danny Nelson doing Danny Nelson things, being wild and over the top with his vocal deliveries is really awesome. Great guitars, great drum work going on here, awesome bass tones, and a lot of the songs that you know from this album are done pretty well and decently here, like the title track, Profitable Extinction, Oral Excrement, Cerebral Tissue Extraction, Fried Afterbirth. Pretty over-the-top stuff like you would normally expect from Malignancy, but this album is pretty damn solid. I still prefer the original, but I understand why they wanted to make a redoing of this particular album. But yeah, here's the artwork here. I believe Tony Cosgrove is the one who did the the reworking of the original album cover art here. Very, very nicely done in the tape format. Lifeless Chasm, Severed Records. Credits and track listings. Lyrics for all the songs. And it comes on a nice black pro tape with the stickers. Very, very high quality stuff here. But yeah, this is a very good Malignancy album, and I'm looking forward to hearing some new material if they decide to put it out. So yeah, Malignancy, Intrauterine Cannibalism, go check this one out. And last but not least, we have some Texas death metal classics to talk about here. And this first one is from probably one of the best one-man projects in the business. This is Insidious Decrepancy with the Inerrancy of Profanation. Yeah. This is a 2020 tape release through Dissonant Tapes, and this is the very first release from Dissonant Tapes. I believe my good buddy Andrew of Devourment Cephalosalemectomy is behind this label, and he wanted to put out some special brutal death metal releases. Most recently, he did some Putrid Pile tapes, the first Disentomb album. I know he's doing some Brodakine stuff, some very big things in line for this particular label, but this is the very first release, and this happens to be my favorite thing that Sean Whitaker has ever done. Of course, Insidious Decrepancy is Sean Whitaker. This is probably one of my favorite projects of his, one of the most notable, and of course, I consider the Inerrancy of Profanation to be his best album in terms of vocals, in terms of lyrics, in terms of just overall being devastating stuff. And this album still holds up very, very nicely all this time later. I mean, from the minute you hear the Befouling the Adoration of Christ, and as soon as you get into more of the overly long, wordy song titles and lyrics, you already know what you're going to be in for with something as awesome as this. I really had a fun time listening to this album on tape, and I think Dissonant Tapes did a bang-up job with this one. So anyway, here's the front cover. Iconic album cover of Jesus getting penetrated by the cross. Sean Whitaker himself, and lyrics, credits, and information. Lyrics on the opposite side. It's limited to 100 copies on a Type 2 chrome cassette tape with stickers. Really, really high quality on this thing. Really awesome. But yeah, really happy to have my favorite Sean Whitaker release on tape. And I will be reviewing the new Sean Whitaker EP very, very soon, so keep an eye and ear out for that. So yeah, the Inerrancy of Profanation by Sean Whitaker. Definitely check this one out. Up next, we have some Corpse Gristle tapes, and this one is of a tape that I showed many, many years ago on this channel in one of my earliest unboxing videos. But that version of this tape was a little bit, I don't know. This one, however, is more official and legit. This is Infernal Dominion with Salvation Through Infinite Suffering. Yeah. This is a tape reissue through Corpse Gristle and Ossuary Industries. And of course, if you don't know who Infernal Dominion are, they were a very, very legendary, pioneering Texas death metal band based out of Houston. And of course, this album is an iconic representation of the Texas death metal sound. Really blasphemous, over-the-top lyrics. Great, great riffs and musicianship. Genuinely brutal death metal of the classic variety. Of course, a lot of the people in this band went on to be involved in other really amazing projects. Of course, you know Dauber, he's in Insect Warfare and Oceans of Slumber. He was the drummer for this band. Of course, you know Wes from Imprecation and Blasperian is involved with this project. Jim Case from Uncleansed and so on and so forth. And a lot of these songs still hold up really well to this day. Rejoice in Ancient Wisdom, the title track, Marching Through Waves of Holy Blood Tide, Toward Infernal Dominion, just some absolutely legendary songs. And this is getting the vinyl treatment too. I believe there's still vinyl copies available of this somehow, some way. So I would highly recommend you get a hold of this tape somehow. And it sounds phenomenal. But let me show you the contents of the tape here. Of course, it came in this nice little sleeve here. Infernal Dominion on one side, the TXDM logo, and both labels on the opposite side. There you see the J card here with the classic black and white demon. You see the tape holes here to give it that little wraparound on the cassette case. You open it up and you have the classic band member photo here with the track listing and credits. And I believe this tape is limited to 666 copies, and I got my copy on this blood red cassette. sounds and plays phenomenal, and I'm very, very happy to have it. I cannot wait for the vinyl version to land here. It's on its way to me even as we speak, and I am very, very pleased that this came out so damn good. So yeah, Infernal Dominion, Salvation Through Infinite Suffering. Definitely check this classic album out. And last but not least, since I mentioned Texas death metal, we have to talk about the Texas death metal album, and I believe the one that everyone knows and is very well familiarized with. Yeah, this is Devourment with Molesting the Decapitated. Yeah. First time tape release through Corpse Gristle, and of course this was originally released in 1999 through United Guttural Records, and this is the 2020 tape version through Corpse Gristle. Long story short, Corpse Gristle got the rights to Molesting the Decapitated back, and I believe the guy behind the label has been working diligently to make this album more readily available and accessible than it ever was. Of course, if you ever had to get Molesting the Decapitated, you had to get it through the 138 compilations with Baby Killer and all those other extra tracks. But this is Molesting the Decapitated by itself, no bonus tracks, just the classic 8 songs that it originally came with. And almost 20 years later, this album is still the standard bearer, the blueprint for Texas brutal death metal. I mean, Choking on Bile, Festering Vomitous Mass, Fucked to Death, Postmortal Coprophagia, Self-Disembowelment, unfucking believable stuff. Some of the sickest, most guttural vocals you'll ever hear, some of the most cringy, uncomforting, over-the-top lyrics you'll ever read. The music is still sick, and it's crazy to think that Devourment are a completely different sort of band nowadays, but I completely appreciate and respect what Devourment have done with such a phenomenal album like Molesting the Decapitated, and I'm very happy that this is made available again. So let me show you the J card here. Got to cover the little peepee on the guy. But yeah, Devourment, Molesting the Decapitated. It's in a yellow sort of hue on this one. There you see the J card. This is hand numbered to 138 copies. Mine is number 6 out of 138. And I like the fact that this got mentioned, that this had to be manufactured somewhere outside of the United States because nobody in the US would touch the tape, let alone the forthcoming vinyl version of that. And I can't wait for the vinyl version of Molesting the Decapitated. There you see the classic band member photo here. Track listing and credits and information. Rest in peace, Wayne Knupp. And of course, this came on the original first press of the tape came out in 2 different variants, Blood Red and Piss Yellow. So this is the Piss Yellow edition of Molesting the Decapitated. Sound quality is phenomenal, and I'm very, very happy that this came out on tape. I know there was another run of tapes that just got done, but I believe that's sold out. I'm optimistic that Hound is going to keep this album in press for a very, very long time for those who missed out on Molesting the Decapitated in the past, and I'm happy that this is available on tape in this format. I mean, I already have it on CD, but I probably will get the Digipack version or somehow. Fucking love this album. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10, masterpiece. So yeah, Molesting the Decapitated by Devourment. Definitely check this one out, and it's very, very cool to have Texas death metal classics on tape here. So yeah, I'm going to conclude this video. I'm going to leave you some links to some of the bands I talked to you about here. If you happen to have heard or own any of these releases, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it. We can go from there. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until next time, Armijo out.